All right, hello, this is Chris from BattleRap.com. I am here with Mr. Danny Myers once again. Danny, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I can hear you. You can hear me. Everything's good?
Yep.
Excellent. So we're here to talk about the AHAT convention. Tell me what happened in Las Vegas this weekend.
Oh, man, 2 days. It was Friday and Saturday. We had a lot of dope battles. And it was great. Hottie Boom came out from Jersey. Lotta Zay came out from Jersey. We also had a newcomer from Kentucky by the name of Crucial Ken, a battler on the rise who was pretty awesome. He came out and battled Lotta Zay. There were a few killings. There were a few nice bars that were, I consider, bars of the year. There were great performances. It was successful. It was great. I mean, both days were great.
So before we get into the individual battles, let's talk about the concept of a convention, first of all. This is, I guess, the second year that AHAT has done something like this?
Yeah, the first year, OD actually threw it inside of a casino out here in Vegas, and that was kind of groundbreaking, within itself, to have a battle rap, event inside of a casino,
Where was it?
Like, let alone have it in Vegas. It was at the D Casino on Fremont Street out in Vegas, and it was dope, man. So the idea was to bring battlers from like all over the country and to come and do war, which I can't, just kind of do war.
And so how was this year's convention different from last year's?
Well, this one was different because we didn't do it. We had it two separate venues. We had it at the Vapor Layer Lounge. The first day was at the Vapor Layer, which is like a smoke shop, hookah shop for the day one card, and day two was in the Johnny Toto's boxing gym where we battle in the ring. So yeah, I think that's the only difference.
Okay. And
also this was a 2-day event. The first convention was a 1-day event.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, AHAT has kind of divisions all over the West, right? You've got the Vegas division, the LA division. What else is there?
There's Vegas, there's Utah, there's Washington.
Okay.
There's AHAT Texas. There's also AHAT South in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
So like 6 divisions actually.
Right. So this is kind of an opportunity for everybody to come together and show off.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
So the biggest name on the card, I think, is arguably J.O. Felony. You guys were doing your own kind of mainstream industry battler.
Right.
So tell me what happened with that battle.
Well, J.O. Felony was scheduled to battle C-Night. If you don't know who C-Night is, he was one of the members of the Dove Shack from Long Beach. They had a couple hit songs out back in the day. J.O. Felony also was signed to Def Jam at a point in his career, and those two guys were scheduled to battle one another, but C-Night, for unknown reasons, didn't make it to the event, so their battle didn't take place.
Okay.
But I wanted to see it. J.O. Felony showed up. He showed love to the crowd. It was pretty good to see him, but kind of disappointing that it didn't take place. So.
Right. So, and no word from C-Night on what happened?
Not yet. Maybe OD knows what happened. I don't know.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's talk about the battles that did happen then. What would you say was the number one battle?
Wow. Man, back and forth battles. Like, that's hard to say. It depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you're looking for like a back and forth bar fest, and I would say Lotta Zay versus Crucial Ken, and Emerson Kennedy versus Hottie Boom, and also Noel versus Diesel. Like, to me, those were the hands down the best back and forth bar fest. Right,
and most of those guys are also, if I'm not mistaken, like the most experienced, kind of biggest names on that card, right?
Yeah. Emerson, Noel, and Diesel are like the top tier. I have like And Scheme, he's also one of the top two. So in AHAT, I had a personal list of 5 guys that are like incredibly talented, and that I feel they can go outside of AHAT and make a big splash in the battle world. And that would be Young B the Future, Emerson Kennedy, Diesel, Scheme. Those are like top 4. There's a couple more that are ready for like the big league.
Mm-hmm.
As Emerson proved, like against Adi Boom.
Yeah, tell me about that battle.
Oh, it was great. 3 rounds. They only did 90-second rounds because Adi Boom has been kind of like on a battle tour. He's battled like every weekend this last 30 days. So it was great. I mean, it was great back and forth. I gave the battle to Emerson pretty clearly, but Adi Boom definitely came out, showed out, showed great performance. He had a lot of bars. Emerson just kind of outpunched him, set up some crazy, and then they had some crazy elaborate thing that he pulled off with 4 other battlers at the end of Emerson Kennedy's 3rd round, which incorporated 5 other guys into one of his bars, and they all acted out a sequence, and that pretty much put Adi Boom out of commission.
Okay.
It was over. It's epic. I can't say what it was, but when it dropped, people will be like, God damn.
So it was like a choreographed kind of...
Yeah, it was a choreograph. Yeah, they did a choreographed sequence. It was crazy. It was like the most incredible thing I've ever seen in a battle.
Awesome. Cool. And I saw Adi Boom most recently at Summer Madness 4 against AHAT. And seeing him live, I thought was pretty impressive. I'd seen his footage before and thought he was okay, but either he's getting better or he's a guy that's a lot better in the room.
He's getting better.
Mm.
He's getting better. He's getting better. His writing is improving because he was pretty much abused for reaching
the reach.
A little bit,
yeah.
A lot, but he has been not doing that. His last battle, he hasn't been reaching. He stopped. I guess he figured out what he was doing wrong or what was not acceptable, and he improved upon that. His performance has always been A1.
Yeah.
It's just his writing was just, just needed to step up a little bit, and he's definitely stepped up his writing.
Yeah, it's been really interesting in the last maybe 6 months or so, this kind of rise of the reach that all of a sudden, fans have a new way to show, their disdain for a bar. They don't have to boo, they can just, extend their hand.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be addressed because it just, what it is just writers trying to demonstrate lazy writing techniques. And sometimes it's 2 words sound close, but if the words don't sound exactly the same, then it's a reach. It has to sound, the word has to sound either pretty much 95% close enough for you to use it. But when it's so obvious that the word does, like umbrella, Beretta, that's got to be in the reach book. That has to be the example.
Yeah, exactly.
In battle rap history, that's the example. So if you're doing something like that, then it's lazy. It's lazy, and it should not be accepted.
Yeah, agreed. So let's talk about your battle here. You battled Unique Bars. Who is that?
Yeah, she's from Seattle, Washington. She's battled on Queen of the Ring sparring sessions. I think she was most famous for losing to Official.
Mm.
And I battled her in a 1-round 5-minute battle, and I pretty much set the standard of how you should battle a female. I kind of attack all angles of I kind of went at black women on this one.
Okay.
So my bars wasn't necessarily tailored to Unique Bars. They were tailored to the black woman of America. I had to address a lot of issues that are prevalent in the the black the black community, in the hoods, the ghettos, the ratchet girls, the twerkers. And I had to address all that shit, and I just had to convey the message through unique bars. In her defense, she put up a great fight. In her defense, she put up a great fight. Had a lot of very dope angles, nice punches. She didn't die, but she lost, but she didn't die.
Are you worried about pissing off all the black women in America?
No, I'm sure they will be once the battle drop. I'm sure there'll probably be women rights activists after me. But if that's what I have to endure in order to get my message out there, that's what I'll just have to deal with it.
All right.
But I think I've got an important message out there. Like, I just put a mirror in front of these black women and show them this is what you guys are doing. This is not acceptable, and this is why I have a problem with some of the things you're doing. Not to say that us black guys don't do some fucked up shit too, because we do. But since I was battling a woman, hey, I took the opportunity to address what I've always been wanting to say to some of my girlfriends. So these are some things I want to say to some of my past girlfriends or whatever, and so I said it to her.
Gotcha. And let me just put it out there. It's not just, black men and black women that are doing this. White guys and white women are all crazy and stupid too.
Right. Definitely. Because there's definitely things that I see white women doing that are just the same or just as bad as black women. So I'm not gonna categorize black women and put them all in one box.
Just take.
This is a general problem, but I think it's more prevalent in the black community.
Gotcha.
Some of the things that I express.
You only want to take on one segment of the population at a time, too. You can't offend everybody at the same time.
Right, yeah. So I went at them. So if I ever battle a white woman, then I'll address the white issues I have. So,
right. And this was the first woman you battled, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. First female I ever battled. Probably be the last, because I don't think no other woman is going to want to step in front of that type of problem.
Right. So let's talk about some of the more impressive performances that you saw. A lot of battles happened. A lot of kind of people from around AHAT. Some people who've been on King of the Dot and other leagues as well. Who were some names that really impressed you that maybe fans aren't as familiar with?
Okay, well, Prom Luther King, he's pretty much new. He put on a very impressive showing against Keon Casino. Prom Luther is on another level. Like, literally, he's probably one of the best I've ever seen. His style might not be for everybody, but if you really pay attention to this guy, he's one of the best I've seen. MC Quest also, he kind of reminds me of Excel from Boston.
Gotcha.
He's kind of like the West Coast Excel. He's absolutely amazing. He put on a very impressive display versus Billy Boondock, who also himself had a great showing. He kind of like forgot some of his bars and started freestyling and lost momentum. But Billy had a great showing. He was dressed like Daylight. He came with the face paint. And like the Ben Davis suit and the do-rag around his head. Like, he was dressed like Daylight. And, it was a great battle. Let me see who else stood out.
Billy Boondocks called you out in his most recent footage, didn't he?
Yeah, he's always been calling me out.
Okay.
But after what happened to him, that kind of set him back from getting that battle with me. After what just happened to him this weekend. So
gotcha.
That will set him back now.
Any other body bags from the weekend?
Oh man, there were a lot of body bags. Scheme versus Conflict in a money match actually. They put up $200 each. Scheme after the first round, it was pretty much over. It was a very, very impressive display of lyricism and punchlines by Scheme. Conflict just could not keep up.
Gotcha.
It was over after the first round, and it was so bad that after Scheme's third round, Conflict still had his, he still had his turn to do his third round, but people just started walking out. Like, people just left the building. Like, so there was no need to even listen to Conflict's round anymore. So people was just kind of left after Steam Rack. So and that was a fine bag.
So this is Scheme who battled Daylight when Daylight had the kind of like news anchor silly string persona, right? Okay.
Yeah. Scheme didn't get his recognition from that battle because Daylight antics took away from Scheme. You know? It's almost like how, that Real Deal was actually spitting some dope bars to Daylight, but you can't, no one can quote one of Real Deal's bars because what Daylight did on stage is more talked about than what Real Deal rapped. So when Daylight does an antic on you, it wipes away all your bars. Picture the Daylight versus Dialect battle. If you really looked at it, Dialect was killing it. Like, he was really spitting some dope shit. And when Daylight stripped, like everything Dialect just said didn't matter anymore. Just so Daylight when he does the antic, it just nullifies everything he just said. So,
right.
He didn't never get his just do, but he's always been one of the best in AHAT. He's in the top 3 definitely.
Awesome. And also on the card, initially, Active versus Jay Scott. I was really sorry to hear that Jay Scott passed away.
Unfortunately, he passed away. That battle was replaced with Miles Lowe, who's also one of the highest viewed. He was involved in one of the highest viewed battles. Yeah,
him and Lil Sexy had the battle. It's like, I think it's almost at 9 million views right now.
Yeah. So Miles Lowe returned, and because he was like almost a brother, like they grew up together. Jay Scott and Miles Lowe grew up together, so when Jay Scott passed, Miles took in. He just stepped in for Jay Scott and kind of did it in tribute to him. Because he figured that's what Jay Scott would have wanted, and him and Active had a great battle. I think Miles Lowe edged it, took it. He really, spit from the heart. A lot of passion, a lot of dope bars, schemes, all kind of things. He had. Active was great as well, so. Pretty like all these battles were pretty dope, man.
Tell me a little bit about how Jay Scott's spirit was present at this event.
Before every battle, everyone shouted out Jay Scott, rest in peace, Jay Scott. Like, everyone showed up. His mother was there. She was in tears. I saw his mother crying. I started crying. It was tough. It was tough to see all those Jay Scott shirts, and I was kind of heartbroken. Scheme actually started his third round, doing a tribute, kind of like his third round versus Conflict was the first part of his third round was a tribute to Jay Scott, in which it emotionally got to Scheme as he was rapping it, and he started crying as he was rapping it, and I saw Scheme crying, and I started crying. It was very emotional. And he left that alone and then got back to the bars, and he ended it with Jay Scott's slogan. And when he said that, the building all said it with him together, and Conflict was in the ground. Conflict was in the ground after that was crazy. Can't wait for that much.
What's your memory of Jay Scott?
Oh man, there's so many of them. I actually hosted his first ever tryout battle on AHAT. He came in, I'm looking at this tall, skinny, lanky, young kid, like, who is this guy? I didn't know what to expect from him, and he started rapping, and I was blown away within the first 4 or 6 bars. I was like, oh my god. And he destroyed, I forgot who he battled. He destroyed whoever his opponent was, and he said, hey, do y'all got anybody else? And we was like, yeah, we're gonna throw the next tryout next month so you can come back. He's like, no, I'm talking about right now. He's like, I said, what? I said, what, you'll battle somebody else? He's like, yeah, I'll battle somebody else right now. So we got somebody else in there, and he destroyed that guy. And from that point on, Jay Scott was like, he was making he made his way to AHAT legendary status. Like, it was like, wow, here's some lanky, young old 17-year-old kid comes in here and kills 2 guys in one night, 3-0 both of them. I'm like, wow, he's on another level. And then he called me, and before battles, he called me and rapped me his verses and say, hey, what do you think it is? Should I change this? Should I keep that? How you feel about it? I really look up to Danny, and if it gets your approval, then I'll keep it. And, you know, so he'd always call me to, you know, kind of get my input on what, you know, what his round sounded like. And he looked up to me, and it really meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, so I miss the kid, man. I'm actually getting choked up now thinking about him, man. I'm actually,
Take a second. Yeah. Well, so after all these events that you've been to, I've seen recently you've been posting this kind of behind the scenes stories of, you know, some crazy thing that happened off camera or, you know, at the hotel or whatever. So what's the story for this event?
I got a few of them. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one and post it pretty soon. Yeah, that's kind of like a thing I'm doing. Is like the inside battle rap. It's kind of like just, you know, like you said, just behind the scenes stories that fans would never have known. So I kind of just put these things out there just for the fans' enjoyment, for them to get another side of battle rap instead of them just seeing the battles and not really knowing the battlers personally and not knowing nothing about the battlers. So that's kind of more what I want to bring to the fans. I'm also working on an actual documentary, which I'll bring to a DVD.
Okay.
And, I'm filming and writing, directing that right now.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to just pretty much have some of your popular rappers like Charlie Clips, Daylight, Jazz the Rapper, Miss Hustle. Just kind of getting their input on, you know, how they write bars, how they come up with the bars, how long they've been rapping, like what is their process in terms of writing the material and memorizing. Just kind of like the behind the scenes that thing, you know, because I think every person has a different process. Like some people write it on paper, some don't even use paper. Some write a little bit at a time. Some write 3 rounds all at one time, and then they organize them into which is going to be the first, second, third. Like just things of that nature.
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's
interesting.
I find that stuff really interesting too, because you don't hear much about, you know, it's the craft of how people put this stuff together,
right. You don't never see nothing about that.
Yeah,
and I just kind of want to shed light on that part of battle rap.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. You know, it's very interesting. It's like some of them have to like use drugs to come up with these bars. Some of them have to either drink or smoke weed. I mean, me personally, I don't smoke, but I don't know how I do it. You know, that's why I'm really putting up. I'm going to show people the secrets of what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to show a couple of the secrets of what I'm doing in this documentary.
I heard someone told me recently that what they do is they'll write all their stuff and then they'll read it and record themselves reading it and then listen to it over and over to the point where they can rap along with it.
Yeah, my wife actually uses that technique. She actually uses that technique. My wife, she'll record the verses and just kind of like put the earphones in and just play it over and over and over. It's kind of like a song.
Right.
Then, you know, it's kind of like a song. You hear a song so many times, you start singing along with it, and you know it. Then you can say the song without it even being on. So that's how, same process. I just do that, but, you know, I know a few people that use that technique. I think it's effective. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
And the last thing I want to talk to you about is the AHAT awards that they gave out this weekend. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, well, OB and R&B, they surprised us with an AHAT awards kind of ceremony where they actually passed out these like beautiful trophies to battlers who like I won battle of the year. Me and Dre Vishiss, we won that, so we both got one of those beautiful glass crystals with our names engraved, AHAT logo in it, the date of the battle. So that was pretty dope. Young B won 2 awards. He won Battle of the Year and I think Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
So that was dope. You know, then they had and actually that award, Rookie of the Year, was actually named the J. Scott Award.
Gotcha.
It was actually named in memory of him, and that was awesome. That was dope.
And it was just those 3 awards?
Because it was a surprise. I didn't know they were going to do that, you know. That was great. I liked it personally because it's like you got like a tangible memory of your craft.
Right.
You know, instead of you just getting some like $1,000 or $500 for the battle, and then you go spend that and it's gone. Like to have something to show for your work and it'll sit on your mantle or whatever. That's awesome, man.
Right. That's priceless. You can't buy that.
Yeah, that's priceless. It really is priceless. I love it. It's like, to me, it's the best thing I've ever got out of battle rap. More so than any money I've gotten, more so than any praise I've gotten. Like, that right there was, man, a lot.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Cool. So, Danny, we'll leave it there unless there's anything else that we should talk about.
Let me see. Yeah, I mean, like I said, both days were dope. Day one kind of was full of body bags. Day two also had a couple body bags, but there were some more close battles like Dre Vishiss versus Bobby Lee Swagger from Utah.
Yep.
Dre Vishiss and DK was a dope battle. Dre Vishiss battled on day one and day two.
Wow.
He did a 1-rounder with Bobby Lee on day one, and then he did 3 rounds with DK on day two. And both of his battles were, Dre Vishiss really. He's on his way, man. He's something special. One of the more memorable moments of the weekend was Logic versus Hypnosis. Hypnosis, I believe, is from AHAT, Washington. I think he's from the Seattle area. Polynesian rapper. So Logic is actually, rapping and he's doing all these bars, and then he has a bar about hey, I fucked your sister, and some other things he had said. And so Hypnosis opened his third round with a rebuttal, and he says, you said you fucked my sister. Dude, she's 7 years old. And the crowd went crazy. And then he continues this rebuttal. He continues it like into 6 more bars of like something. I set a style. I went to the police, looked at your file, and it said pedophile. Like it was just so many bars about him touching on a young girl. Right. It was the craziest thing. Up until that point, I believe Logic was winning the battle. But when he rebutted that and the building erupted, it was like, all right, Logic died. Right. It was incredible. Can't wait till that one drops too, by the way. So yeah, that was. The whole weekend was great. There were battles. Like, everybody came with bars, not too many mess-ups or stumbles or chokes or nothing like that. There were a couple stumbles. But, for the most part, it was just dope. Every single battle was dope. Whether it was a body bag or whether it was a close fight. All of them were all good. And I'm happy to be a part of it. And we're going to start working on these matchups for our January card.
Nice. And you've got a busy few months coming up as well. What do you have on the line next?
My next one is December 6th. Me and Heartless on the Ether card. Yep. With Cassidy and Disaster. So I got that. I'm trying to lock in an exact date for me and T-Rex. We try to do it towards the last weekend of January. I'll have the details on that, pretty soon. And that'll be Black Ice? So, is that still happening there? Yeah, that would be Black Ice Cartel, yeah. That would be me and T-Rex as the main event, and that's definitely going down. And after that, I'm going to battle Phil Jones. Nice. B Magic Daylight, and that'll probably be the end of my battle career. Well, I'm only going to do, as of right now, I'm only scheduled for 4 battles next year, which is Rex, Chilla, B Magic, and Daylight. Well, I'm trying, and I'm lobbying, and I'm petitioning, and I'm talking, and I'm making some. I'm trying to get me versus Tay-Rock on Summer Madness 5 or Gnome 5. I definitely am aiming for that for next year with URL, trying to make amends and smooth over our situation. And get me on the main stage before I retire, So right. Hopefully we can get that done. But as of right now, those are my next battles coming up. Cool. So next up is Hardness. It's going to be a punch fest. people want to see me and Hutler just go bar for bar, punchline for punchline. That's exactly what they're gonna get.
Did so you and Norbs went back and forth? He said this past week.
Right.
Have you guys settled that?
This is how I feel about it. We can both say this and say that, but whether he had a misunderstanding or he forgot certain details or I forgot certain details, it really don't matter. I just feel like we should just squash it and move on. That's it. We squash it and get me back on the URL. You know what I mean? That's all that really matters at this point. Because the back and forth and blah 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 versus blah blah blah, that's for the birds. Right. Fans don't want that. Fans want to see battles.
Yeah.
That's what we're all here for in the first place.
There you go. You know what I mean? You versus Norbs in one of the PG events.
Huh?
I said you can battle Norbs in one of the PG events.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to battle Norbs and get him the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have to battle Norbs. Yeah, man. So, I mean, I've proven that I belong on that big stage. I've proven I feel like with me and a Verb's battle, me and Cortez's battle, me and JC's battle, I can showing that I could get on a big stage and put on a show anywhere I go. You know, so it really wouldn't make sense for them not to put me on the big stage, because you got other guys that get that opportunity to get on that stage and they don't do so well, or they don't give you a classic, or they get up there and choke or something like that. So, but with Danny Myers, you're guaranteed, you know, a classic or a near classic every time. Every time.
I saw all those battles. You know, you versus JC, you versus Verb, and what was the third one you mentioned? Cortez. Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, but
was in Dallas. That was in Dallas.
Right, but I mean, those other two were the best battles of the night.
So, every time, you know, it's crazy because every time I'm on a card, I have the battle of the night. Every time, like when me and JC battled, we had battle of the night. When me and Verb battled, we had battle of the night. When me and Cortez battled, we had the battle of the night.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm proving that I belong on the big stage. Like, so hopefully we can get me and Tay-Rock, you know, the Bar Guy versus Gun Bar King. I think it'll be very interesting, very lyrical, punchlines, tough talk, street talk, all that stuff. Man. So I think me and Tay-Rock can produce a true classic for the culture, and that's really all I want to do it for. It's just, as an MC, you just want to test yourself against other great MCs, you know what I mean? And that's really what I'm in this for. Yeah. Just for the competition. So
I think you actually, now that you mention it, you and Tay-Rock is a really nice style matchup. You know, I think both you and he do what is really like kind of the hot style right now of just, you know, punch after punch, aggressiveness, what you were saying about like tough talk, street talk.
Right.
And you know,
pretty close. Very similar. I mean, very similar. I think my punches may be a little more creative than Tay-Rock, but he can even it out with different angles and tactics that he uses. But, you know, like you said, just a style matchup. It would be great. It would make a lot of sense. And I think the fans would enjoy it. And me and Tay-Rock will try to work on this blood if we do get it. So we've been kind of like going back and forth. We kind of know that we're eventually going to have to do it. So
yeah,
you know, I'm just hoping that, you know, URL can work it out with me and let's get it going and leave all the other stuff to the side. You know, so that's it. I'm just ready to work. I'm just ready to keep producing these bars. And my wife, she's on the rise right now. She has a dope battle coming up with Etso Finesse.
Yep.
Who also herself put on a great performance versus the Jones last night. She actually beat the Jones. She's dope. So that's gonna go down December 5th. Queen of the Ring in the LA. Baz Bunny's gonna be there. D-Ball's gonna be there.
Great.
It's gonna be an action-packed battle. My wife is no joke.
No, I saw her battle. What is it? 8R14 or something?
8R14. Yeah. My wife is, and AR14 is pretty dope. She's dope. You know, the West Coast females really, you know, they really never had no shine. So now that they have a platform with the Queen of the Ring LA, and you know, so shout out to Debo for coming out and setting that up in Los Angeles. Now the West Coast female have a platform because there wasn't none of them really. There wasn't none. Now you kind of get a chance to see what the West Coast females have to offer.
Yeah. Perfect.
And my wife and Finesse are pretty much at the forefront of it, and now they got a battle to see who is the best on the West.
Right.
When in terms of female battle rapper. That's going down December 5th in Los Angeles, and the next day I battle.
Yeah.
Me and my wife gonna have a busy weekend in December 5th.
Well, I should be out there for both of those because I'll definitely be there for Ether, but you know, if there's something else going on the 5th, then I might as well swing by too.
The 5th is my wife's battle, and I'm telling you now, you don't want to miss it. It's gonna be a female battle rap class.
Dope. Cool. Well, Danny, we'll end it there, and you know, thanks for your time, and I'll see you at all these events coming up, and
no problem. I see you every weekend. It seems like I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thanks. All right. Thanks, Danny.